Welcome to the world today. I am Amarachi Ubani. The Ukrainian government has admitted that its forces are helpless to curb unrest driven by pro-Russian activists in the eastern regions of Donetsk and Luhansk. Acting President Alexander Turchinov said the goal now is to prevent the unrest from spreading. Activists have seized many buildings and taken hostages in the eastern cities, as well as international monitors. Mr. Turchinov also said that Ukraine is now on full combat alert amid fears that Russian troops could invade the country.
A major escalation in the crisis in eastern Ukraine. Hundreds of pro-Russian separatists seized the regional government headquarters and the prosecutor's office. They targeted provincial buildings in this small city of Luhansk, less than 30 kilometers from the Russian border. Having control of this area would give separatists sway over the entire Donbas coalfield, which accounts for around a third of Ukraine's industrial output.
It is so decided.
At the United Nations, the political affairs chief briefed the Security Council on the latest violence. The deteriorating conditions in the east of the country come despite new Western sanctions on Russia. The sanctions are seen as mild, and that while a small number of names were added to the blacklist, threats to take more serious measures were put on hold. Meanwhile, during a trip to Cuba, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said U.S. and European sanctions against his country over the Ukraine crisis defy common sense. The West has accused Russia of stirring up a separatist campaign in eastern Ukraine, a charge Moscow denies. Cuba has stood firmly by Russia, one of its closest allies and a crucial economic supporter during Soviet days.
Meanwhile, the International Monetary Fund says Russia is now experiencing recession because of the damage caused by the Ukrainian crisis. The fund, which cuts its growth forecast for Russia, said $100 billion will leave the country this year. Antonio Spilibermejo, the IMF's mission chief in Moscow, said international sanctions were damaging the economy and also threatening investment. Russia's economy contracted in the first 3 months of this year, but Mrs. Spilibermejo said he expected that to continue. The IMF cut its 2014 growth forecast for Russia to 0.2% from 1.3% and said it expects the country's economy to grow by 1% next year.